Today we are going old school with a good old-fashioned game pickups episode. We are talking about games, gifts and a brand new console which I've just started collecting for. So make yourself comfortable and join me as I go through some of the newest additions to my amazing collection.
Game pickups! Video game transfer! Rush trips! Live game hunting!
Hello again folks and welcome back to a very special episode, as today we are back with some game pickups. These were some of the original videos which I did at the start of this channel, and I just love these game pickups videos. I love sharing with you folks watching some of the amazing items which I've slowly added to my collection over the past few months, and trust me, we have some amazing bits to go through today. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button and please subscribe, as I put new videos out every Saturday live at 5, as well as bonus content throughout the week, and I really want you folks along for the ride. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel even more, please consider becoming a supporter over on Patreon. It's only £1 a month, you get loads of bonus content, including even more bonus game pickup videos. Our first pickup is this Castlevania t-shirt right here. This is one of my favourite gaming t-shirts I have found recently, and so many people ask me, Dan, where do you get your t-shirts which you wear in these videos? And the simple answer is, a majority of these at the moment I seem to find on Vinted, because you can get some absolutely bargain gaming and geeking t-shirts on there for such cheap prices. I think this one set me back £6, and honestly, this is one of my favourite retro t-shirts I've ever found. But let's get into some video games, and this game right here is all I've been playing for the past few months. WWE 2K24. Now, I've had a real love-hate relationship with the 2K series since they took over the old WWE Raw vs SmackDown license. But this right here is the best wrestling game in at least a decade. This game is absolutely fantastic. It has taken everything which was wrong with the 2K series and set it right. It is an absolutely god-tier wrestling game. Now, I'm not going to say it's the greatest wrestling game of all time. That is, of course, WWF No Mercy on the N64. But in the modern day, here and now, this is the best wrestling game that money can buy. And if you're going to play any wrestling game other than WWF No Mercy, I definitely recommend this one. I picked this up just after WrestleMania, at the peak of Wrestling Mania, and I played this one to death. There's so many match types, such an incredible roster of wrestlers. It's just got a fantastic career mode. The 40 years of WrestleMania showcase is absolutely amazing. And honestly, I'm surprised myself. The mode I've played the most is My Faction, which, if you've never played before, is essentially like Ultimate Team on FIFA, but using wrestlers. It is absolutely incredible. I managed to pick this up for an incredible price as well. This was on a flash sale on Shop2 for just 20 quid, which is crazy. That was mere weeks after this game came out. And trust me, you need to keep an eye on websites like Shop2, as sometimes they slash their prices. You can pick up a bargain like I did with this game right here. Next up, we have a game which I actually pre-ordered, and it's very rare that I'll pre-order a game these days. Normally, because more often than not, developers will either release a buggy, glitchy mess on day one, which they'll simply patch a few weeks later, or the price will simply drop a few weeks or sometimes even days after the game's release. And more often than not, you're left disappointed by your pre-order. So the question is, am I disappointed I pre-ordered this game right here, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arcade, Wrath of the Mutants, for the Nintendo Switch? Now, the key word in this title is arcade. This is an arcade port, and that is exactly what you are getting. This is an arcade game. It is very short, it is very repetitive, but it is an exact port of the arcade game, and at the end of the day, as long as you know that is what you are getting, then you won't be disappointed. This game is essentially about 90 minutes long. It has that kind of arcade difficulty, so, you know, you will have to replay it over and over again. But it doesn't have the greatest replay ability. It's essentially 2 or 3 attack buttons, stage boss, stage boss, stage boss, stage boss, end credits, game over. But as long as you go into this game expecting exactly that, an arcade port, you may not be disappointed. But this one is definitely for only the hardened TMNT fans. Sometimes when you see a game for sale online, you have to be quick. Some games, when they're on offer, go super duper quick, and I cannot believe that I managed to grab the Evercade Codemasters Collection 1 off Amazon for retail price. That's right, I paid just $14.99 for this Evercade cart, and you may be wondering why I'm so excited to pay the retail price for this cart. That's because this Evercade cart right here has now gone legacy, which, if you didn't know, means they're no longer making new copies of this cart. So there's a finite number of these carts in the wild, and I saw this flash up on Amazon for retail price and I grabbed it straight away. That's because here and now today, if you went on CEX to buy this Evercade cart, it would set you back £45. 3 times the amount which I paid for this cartridge on Amazon, and I am super happy I've grabbed this one as it has an incredible selection of games. It has Sensible Soccer, one of my favourite football games of all time. Loads of incredible Codemasters games, including one of my favourite games of all time, Cannon Fodder. I am super happy to have grabbed this one while I still could for a decent price, and honestly, if you're an Evercade collector, it's always worth keeping an eye on Amazon. Let's get into our first gift of the video then, and this is from a viewer of the channel called Jason, who got in touch to say he had some Xbox One games he was clearing out and wondered if I wanted them for my collection. Of course, I would never say no to adding more games to my collection, and we have some absolute bangers in here for the Xbox One. As always, this is wrapped absolutely lovingly, and let's jump into the first games here. So first off, we have Destiny the Taken King. This is a game I absolutely hammered when it first came out. I was a day one player of Destiny, and while I've slowly fallen out of love with the franchise in the past few years, at the start it wasn't exactly what we expected, but I still enjoyed playing this online with friends. Next up, we have a game which I think gets a lot of bad press, and that's Agents of Mayhem, the follow-up to the Saints Row series. I'm a big fan of this game. I still think it's probably not as good as Saints Row, but it's a fun open world kind of adventure game. Next up, we have a fantastic fighting game, Injustice 2. It's essentially Mortal Kombat in the DC universe, and this one has an absolutely incredible story mode, well worth checking out. Even if you're not a beaten up fan, if you're a DC fan, check this one out. Next up, we have, some call it a game, some call it a TV show. It's pretty much both, Quantum Break. If you haven't played this, I think this is on Games Pass, as are a lot of these games. This is a strange one. Essentially, you'll have about an hour and a half, 2 hours of gameplay, then you sit and watch a 45-minute TV show. It's definitely a strange one, but these are the kind of games I love adding to my collection, the oddities and the weirdos. But we ain't done yet. We got even more amazing Xbox One games in this box right here from Jason. So next up we have Pro Evo 2015. It has been absolutely years since I've played a Pro Evo game, so I might actually jump onto that one as I prefer Pro Evo to FIFA. Next up we have absolute classic Gears of War 4. The main reason I first brought an Xbox One was to play Gears of War 4. It's one of my favourite gaming franchises of all time. I think after the original trilogy, the series has faltered a bit, but bring on Gears 6, bring it on. Then we have another incredible game right here, Dishonored 2. I'm actually thinking about jumping back into Dishonored very, very soon, so really looking forward to checking out the second game. I never played this one, so let me know in the comments down below if you've played this banger. Then we have another game from a franchise, which I've played other games in the franchise, but I still haven't played Dead Rising 4. And it'd be quite interesting to see if many people jump back into Dead Rising 3 and 4 now they've announced they're doing a remake of Dead Rising 1. So let me know once again if you've played this entry in the franchise. It's still one I haven't checked out. Then we have a racing series I haven't played much of. Again, Project Cars. I'm more of a Forza Horizon player, so let me know if I need to be checking this one out. And finally, we have a steelbook in here, and this one is an absolute beauty. Halo 5, an absolutely fantastic steelbook, which is absolutely totally complete with the statue inside. This thing is in absolutely incredible condition. Not my favourite Halo game of all time. It's my least favourite Halo game. But thank you, Jason, for these incredible Xbox One bangers. For me, the Xbox One is a strange one for collectors. That's because so many people simply play their games via Games Pass. Even a lot of those games that I received from Jason are on Games Pass, but you have to remember, at the end of the day, games come and go on Games Pass, but if you own a physical copy of the game, you can play it forever. But as a physical collector, trust me, there are some absolute bargains to be had for the Xbox One. Like I said earlier, as a collector, I love the weird and the oddities, and these items right here definitely fall into both of these categories. These were sent from Katie at Bricks and Gaming, and it does have a note. It says, "Hi Dan, hope you enjoy these unique items for your collection. Been enjoying the PlayStation Platinum projects. Thanks to you, I started my own journey with Platinums from PlayStation 1 through to PlayStation 3. All the best, Katie." So check her out on YouTube and Instagram at Bricks and Gaming, and let's jump into these items right here. So first off, we have some vintage PlayStation tip books. I absolutely loved these back in the day. You have to remember, back in the day, you can just jump online if you got stuck in a game. You had to pick up one of these books or a guide in a magazine and just find out how to get through the game. If not, you could be stuck forever. These are such a zeitgeist item, and I absolutely love these. So thank you, Katie, for those. And then the second one is something which I've never seen before. We talk about retro magazines, but this is real retro. This is dated July to September 1998, and this is like a fan-made retro games magazine. This is literally DIY gaming magazine. This is so cool to think this is nearly 30 years old, and to be able to go back and see what people are talking about back then. This is so DIY. I absolutely love this. So thank you, Katie, for all of these amazing unique items. We're going from one massive taste of nostalgia to another. Shout out to whoever sent me this. I'm afraid I just couldn't find your message, so please make yourself known in the comments down below. This is, of course, one of my favourite nostalgic items, a PlayStation 2 demo disc. And this is one I have never seen before. I presume this was probably like packaged in with a console, but if you know, please let me know in the comments down below. This has some absolute bangers on it, including Dark Cloud, Klonoa 2 and WWF SmackDown Just Bring It. Absolutely fantastic items. I love these demos so much, and thank you. Please make yourself known in the comments down below who sent this, so again, I can give you a shout out. Next up, we have the first of two gifts from long-term viewer and good friend of the channel, Robert. And him and his son, Isaac, watch every week, so massive shout out to both of them. It just warms my heart to hear about fathers and sons, mothers and daughters watching a channel and just passing on the love of game collecting to the next generation. And we have two games in here which I was very excited to add to my collection. That's because Robert has sent me two different games from a franchise which I'm trying to get a complete game collection for, and that franchise is Doom, and we have two Doom PC games in this box. So first off, we have Doom 2016. Now I think I have pretty much every single version of this game released. The PC version was one of the last versions I needed for my collection, so massive thanks to Robert for this one. And the second game we have in here is the iconic Doom 3. It's a real shame these weren't released in like big box PC games, but to have these variants in my collection is super cool. Like I said then, we have not one but two gifts from Robert and his son Isaac to add to the collection. And there's also some bonus bits in here, which is absolutely a pleasure every single time. So first off, we have something which I've never seen before in the stores. It's Oreos, but these are Pac-Man Oreos. How cool is that? And here's the difficult part. Do I open these or do I just keep them forever? The collector of me thinks these may sit on a shelf for the rest of all time, but let me know in the comments down below what you would do. But that's not all. In here we also have something which I will be eating, a lovely caramel nougat bar. As a vegan, this is much appreciated, but the best thing in this delivery right here, wrapped up in cling film, is something which I have never seen before. And this is super duper cool. I'm a massive retro and modern toy collector as well as a video game collector, but this crosses over. This Street Fighter Blanka figure is absolutely fire, for lack of a better term. I have never seen these Street Fighter figures before, and this thing is absolutely incredible. So thank you, Robert, thank you, Isaac, and please keep watching. Which brings us on to our final pickup right here. And like I said at the start of this video, I am starting to collect for a brand new console. And I am not making it easy for myself with this one. This is one of the most obscure consoles to collect for. It's so obscure, I haven't actually got the console yet to play these games. But when I saw these come up on eBay for the price, I knew I had to grab them. I won't leave you in suspense any longer. Let's jump into this packet right here and I'll show you the first two games which I'm adding to this brand new gaming collection. And quite ironically, the first game here is a Doom game, but it is Doom for the Mega Drive 32X. Yep, the 32-bit expansion for the Mega Drive is the new console which I've started to collect for. And this is a very difficult console to collect for, but I just love the weird and the oddities, like I've said throughout this video, and it doesn't get much weirder than collecting for the 32X. Now, these are in absolutely incredible condition. One of the hardest things about collecting for the 32X is the fact they came in these cardboard boxes, but check out the condition of this game right here. It is of course complete with the manual, and I managed to pick this and one other 32X game up for just £50 for the pair. When I decided to start collecting for the 32X, I knew I needed to have Doom. But there was another game which I knew I needed to pick up straight away to kickstart this collection, and that is this game right here. I'm a massive Doom fan, and I'm of course a massive Star Wars fan. That's why I knew I needed Star Wars Arcade for the Mega Drive 32X. And again, this is in absolutely incredible condition. So good condition. And of course, it is complete with the manual. As you can see here, it has the cartridge. You take this bit up, and it has one of the crispiest manuals I've seen in a very long while. Considering these 32X games are in totally cardboard cases, to find these in these condition, I just couldn't pass it up. There we have it then, folks. There were some amazing additions to my collection, some incredible gifts from you amazing viewers, which I'm eternally thankful for, and the first two new additions to a brand new collection for the Sega Mega Drive 32X. And of course, in the future, I'll undoubtedly be adding a 32X console, so stick around to see if I find it sooner rather than later. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and as always, keep playing the game. See you soon!